When you think of violins, you may think of orchestras, men and women dressed in black, playing their stringed instruments, or even perhaps Sherlock Holmes just fiddling away. Well, think again. How about this? Well, that was Charness, electric violinist, and she joins us now live tonight. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you so much for having me.
That is some dramatic performance.
Thank you.
You really brought some style into the classical world of the violin.
Oh, well, thank you so much. That's what we hope to do.
Now, how does a classically trained violinist such as yourself go to the electric violin, and a hot pink one, I might add?
Well, it wasn't a gradual transition. I like to call it a bit of a revolution. I was introduced to this violin by a man named Mark Wood, who is actually the designer of this instrument. He came to my band camp when I was about 15 or 16 years old, and I saw him performing rock and roll. And from that point on, I was really hooked, and I knew that the violin needed to be in other genres aside from classical.
Now, when did you begin playing, you said?
I started playing classically when I was about 4 years old.
4 years old. And so what is the difference when you're playing something such as the electric violin as opposed to the classic violin?
Well, I think the classical violin has a lot more rules that you need to follow. I think with this violin, I feel a little bit more free. Certainly movement-wise, I can move a lot more. If you notice, there's nowhere to...
certainly did notice that, by the way. I bet your audience appreciates that.
Well, thank you. You notice here, there's nowhere to put your chin down, so you're really, in your upper body, just a lot more free to move around. And for me, moving is a big part of the way I perform.
And you have played a lot of venues. You have played at Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week, and where else? Tell us about some of them.
Oh, the Garden, Radio City Music Hall, Chicago Theater. We've been around town now, so it's really lucky. Very, very lucky.
And where do you see yourself going with this?
Well, right now, I'd love to see this violin, and the way we're arranging it for it to be is in really electronic dance music is the next big thing that you're seeing now. And it's a wonderful platform for the electric violin. It's a very instrumental kind of music, and I have a single coming out with DJ Surge very soon, and we're obviously very excited about that.
The video we're looking at now is you playing the national anthem at the Knicks game?
Yes.
That must have been quite the thrill.
It was. You know, I love playing at Madison Square Garden. It's the home to so many musicians and, of course, so many New York fans. So it's a wonderful feeling to be surrounded by people that are, really rooting for you.
Now, we know you play beautifully and exotically, but do you compose?
I do. I'm now starting to write a lot more than I used to. You know, as a classical musician, we're really not trained to write as much as violinists. And, in a different genre and in more popular genres, it's something that I've really been forced to do a bit more, and I'm grateful for that. Definitely.
I have to ask you about the color before we go. Does it have to be pink, or was that your choice?
Oh, it had to be pink for me. It was my choice, 100%.
Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck to you, and I look forward to seeing you and hearing you play again.
Thank you so much for having me.
And that'll about do it for us this evening for New York Nightly News. Stay tuned for News 4 at 11. Thank you for joining us. I'm Roseanne Coletti. Have a great evening and a great weekend.